Take one. Hello, and welcome to Looking Back, an album in review. This series will review albums we feel were impactful in our communities and how these albums have remained a soundtrack to our lives and have also become a special retreat into a time of listening to good music. I'm your host, Pamela D, and on this episode of Looking Back, we will review a selection by our IFATS member, Kathy. The album is Showtime. The group is Slave. Slave was a funk band that was formed out of Dayton, Ohio in 1975 and was led by Steve Washington and Floyd Miller. Kathy mentioned that she was surprised to know it wasn't lead singer Steve Arrington who founded or co-founded the band. In fact, Arrington would not join the band until 1979, along with another vocalist by the name of Starlina Young. Showtime would be the group's sixth studio album. The album would reach 46 on Billboard's pop charts and number 7 on the soul charts. Now, Kathy had been listening to Slave since she was a very young girl. Her parents would buy these albums, and they were albums that were based on the listing by Jet Magazine, and they would just simply go out and buy them. They didn't have to really listen to them, they just went and got them. They had this huge record collection, and so they just wanted their family to be, a house full of music. When Showtime was released in 1981, Kathy was in the 11th grade. She had a job at Burger King and eventually would buy this album and many more. She bought the album because of that sound that she remembered as a young girl. She also goes on to say, as my older sister and brothers were buying clothes, shoes, and partying up their money, I was buying music. Now, Kathy does admit she's not a huge fan of the group Slave, but it was their sound she recalls. Showtime is special to CC, or Kathy, because it was the last album that Steve Arrington performed with the group. She also states that the album has so many amazing tracks. One of those tracks is Party Lights. Another one being Snapshot. Now, both of these songs were released as singles. A song by the name of Steal Your Heart is another favorite tune for Kathy. This song was written by Arrington, Mark Adams, Danny Webster, and co-produced by Jimmy Douglas. Kathy's absolute favorite song on this album is a song called For the Love of You. This is also the song that she is highly recommending. The song has a soprano sax intro that was performed by a musician by the name of Cecil Carter. And you also have Arrington's expressive and distinctive vocals on lead, along with Danny Webster on the bridge. Now, Kathy explains For the Love of You is really one of the lesser known songs by Slave and didn't get as much airplay as it should have. It is understandable why this would be a favorite of hers. Kathy has such an affinity for horns, and this song starts off in the right direction for her. It has been 43 years since its release, and the album holds up very well, as much of the music did from that era. We do hope you have enjoyed this edition of an album in review. IFATS would love to thank Kathy for giving us an interesting perspective on her selection, the album Showtime by Slave. Remember, if you have a song that you believe is a great song, or an album for that matter, and would love to recommend it, please email us at ifats1@yahoo.com, and we will share it on our next presentation. I'm Pamela D. Thank you for watching.